The slap echoes through the luxury boutique, like thunder breaking silence. A black woman drops to her knees on Italian marble, blood trickling from her split lip onto the pristine floor. The store manager towers above her, his manicured hand still raised, designer watch catching morning light through crystal chandeliers. His face twists with disgust as 30 shoppers freeze mid-browse, their smartphones already rising like shields between them and accountability. "People like you don't belong here," he spits, adjusting his $5,000 suit jacket. The woman touches her mouth, examines the blood on her fingertips with strange calmness. She rises slowly, deliberately, each movement controlled despite trembling hands. Her worn sneakers squeak against marble as she stands. "Thank you," she whispers, voice carrying despite its softness. "You just gave me exactly what I needed." The manager laughs, sharp and cruel. "What? Evidence for your pathetic lawsuit? You think you're somebody?" She turns away, shoulders straight. "I'm the person who's about to change your life forever." The screen fades to black for 2 heartbeats. Her voice returns, steady and powerful. If you're watching this and you've ever witnessed something similar, don't turn away like those 30 people did. Record it, report it, intervene, because silence is complicity with injustice. Today, I'll show you the power of refusing to stay silent. This is Black Voices Now, where every voice matters. 45 minutes earlier, Victoria Blackstone sits in her penthouse suite overlooking the city, 3 monitors displaying real-time market data. The CEO of a $15 billion investment fund doesn't appear in magazines or society pages, exactly how she prefers it. At 52, her natural curls are pulled back in a simple bun, face bare of makeup, wearing yesterday's coffee-stained university sweatshirt. Her phone vibrates with an encrypted message from the Department of Justice. "Ready when you signal." She sets it aside, fingers drumming against her desk as she reviews a 500-page investigation file for the 100th time. The corruption network spans 15 years across 47 stores, siphoning $2 million monthly through phantom invoices and kickbacks. But money isn't what drives her focus. It's the systematic exclusion pattern. 89% of Black employees terminated within 6 months. 0 Black managers in a decade. Her mother's rejection letter from this very chain sits framed on her desk, yellowed after 25 years. "Overqualified," they'd written. Victoria knows better. She always has. Her assistant Marcus enters, worry creasing his forehead. "The board meeting moved to noon. That gives you less time." Victoria stands, trades her sweatshirt for a faded t-shirt and worn jeans. 20 years preparing for this moment. 3 hours is more than enough. She packs a canvas backpack with recording equipment disguised as everyday items, a water bottle with a hidden camera, earbuds that capture conversations 50 feet away, a phone modified by former NSA specialists. Marcus hesitates at the door. "At least take security." She shakes her head. "They need to show their true faces. That won't happen with bodyguards hovering. In the private elevator." She transforms. The confident CEO dissolves into someone forgettable. Shoulders slightly hunched, eyes downcast, movements hesitant. She's perfected this performance through dozens of undercover operations exposing workplace discrimination. Her driver, a former Secret Service agent named Thomas, watches through the rearview mirror as she slides into the armored sedan. 6 observation points secured. Extraction teams on standby. Victoria nods, scrolling through employee testimonials on her phone. Former workers describe daily humiliations, passed-over promotions, suspicious terminations. Their pain echoes her family's history. 25 years ago, her mother Linda had walked into this same chain's flagship store, portfolio in hand, decades of retail management experience on her resume. The rejection came swiftly. 2 years ago, Victoria's niece experienced identical treatment despite graduating summa cum laude from Wharton. The pattern never changed. Only the excuses evolved. Now Victoria owns 62% of the company through shadow acquisitions, though the board won't discover this for another 2 hours. Timing is everything in hostile takeovers and social justice. The car stops 2 blocks away. Victoria walks the remaining distance, studying every detail: security camera positions, emergency exits, the homeless veteran she's helped for years positioned across the street with a borrowed smartphone. He gives her a subtle thumbs up. The live stream infrastructure is ready. She pauses at the boutique's gold-etched doors, catching her reflection. For a moment, she sees her grandmother Ruby, who cleaned these very floors in the 1960s while dreaming her granddaughter might one day shop here as an equal. "Not just shop, Grandma," Victoria whispers. "Own." Inside, Arctic air conditioning battles August heat. The space screams money: Venetian crystal chandeliers, marble imported from Carrara, displays featuring handbags worth more than most Americans' annual salaries. 5 sales associates, all white, all perfectly coiffed, glance her way and immediately look through her. Their training shows in their synchronized dismissal. Victoria heads straight for the haute couture section marked VIP Members Only, her worn sneakers squeaking against marble. She begins photographing displays, making notes about inventory discrepancies she's tracked through forensic accounting. A Latina employee approaches nervously, voice barely above a whisper. "Ma'am, this section requires membership." Victoria smiles warmly. "I understand. What's your name?" "Maria, ma'am." "Maria, remember today. Everything's about to change." Maria's eyes widen with confusion and something else. Hope, perhaps. She glances toward the office where her manager lurks, then back at Victoria. "I could lose my job." Victoria touches her shoulder gently. "After today, that won't be a concern." Victoria continues documenting, each photo evidence for the Justice Department's case. Her phone buzzes with updates from her CFO, the final shares purchased, controlling interest secured. Phase 1 complete. She checks her watch, 8:58. In 2 minutes, Bradley Morrison will emerge from his office for morning inspection. Her investigation revealed his routine never varies, his prejudices even less so. The stage is set, witnesses gathering unconsciously as morning shoppers fill the space. Everything depends on the next hour unfolding exactly as she's planned. 9:05 sharp. Bradley Morrison emerges from his office like clockwork, Italian leather shoes clicking against marble with military precision. At 40, his golden hair slicked back with expensive pomade, he embodies everything the luxury retail world worships: old money aesthetics, rigid hierarchies, and carefully maintained exclusion. His morning inspection routine never varies: first the window displays, then inventory, finally staff positioning. Today, his pale blue eyes narrow immediately upon spotting worn sneakers in the VIP section. Victoria doesn't look up from her phone, continuing to document price tags with methodical precision. She feels his approach before seeing him: the aggressive cologne, the purposeful stride, the intake of breath that precedes confrontation. Maria shrinks against a display case, hands trembling as she pretends to adjust merchandise. Other employees scatter like startled birds, leaving a clear path between predator and prey. The morning shoppers sense drama building, unconsciously forming a loose circle, some already reaching for phones. "Excuse me." Bradley's voice cuts sharp, designed to intimidate. "This area requires membership verification." Victoria continues typing, letting silence stretch uncomfortably. His jaw tightens. "Ma'am, I'm speaking to you." She finally looks up, meeting his gaze with calm indifference. "I heard you." The lack of deference sparks something ugly in his expression. He steps closer, using his height advantage. "Then you'll understand why you need to leave. Immediately." "I'm evaluating inventory management systems," Victoria says simply, returning to her documentation. Bradley's laugh sounds like breaking glass. "Evaluating? Who exactly do you think you are?" She pauses, considering her words carefully. "Someone interested in how this establishment operates." His face flushes deeper red. "The only thing you need to know is that we maintain certain standards you clearly don't meet." A white woman in designer clothing pauses nearby, Hermes bag dangling from her manicured arm. She watches with the detached interest of someone viewing zoo animals, making no move to intervene. Two younger shoppers exchange glances, phones already recording. Bradley notices the attention, his voice rising theatrically. "We've had problems with people like you before. Coming in here, casing the place, making other customers uncomfortable." Victoria's fingers still on her phone. "People like me?" The question hangs between them, loaded with decades of subtext. Bradley's smile turns predatory. "You know exactly what I mean. This isn't some discount store where you can wander around touching everything." She stands slowly, barely reaching his shoulder, but somehow occupying more space. "I haven't touched anything except my own phone." "Yet," he adds, stepping into her personal space. "But I know your type. Take pictures, create some scene, then cry discrimination when we protect our property." Maria gasps audibly from across the section. A black security guard named James approaches reluctantly, shoulders heavy with familiar conflict. "Mr. Morrison, is there a problem?" Bradley doesn't break eye contact with Victoria. "Yes. Remove this woman. No membership, no business." James looks between them, recognizing something in Victoria's steady gaze. "Ma'am, if you could just show your membership card." Victoria addresses him gently. "What's your name?" "James Williams, ma'am." "How long have you worked here, James?" He shifts uncomfortably. 6 years. "And how many black managers have you seen promoted in that time?" The question lands like a physical blow. James's face cycles through emotions: surprise, recognition, fear. Bradley explodes. "Don't answer that. She's trying to manipulate you." He wheels on Victoria. "I know exactly what you're doing. Trying to stir up trouble, probably recording this whole thing for some lawsuit." Victoria holds up her phone. "I am recording, legally, in a public retail space." His hand shoots out, grabbing for the device. "Company policy prohibits recording." She pulls back smoothly. "Show me the posted signs." The crowd has grown to 20 people, energy shifting palpably. A young black woman starts live streaming openly. "Y'all seeing this? Manager harassing a black customer at Lux Boulevard." Bradley spins toward her. "Turn that off." She stands her ground. "Public space. First Amendment." His face contorts with rage, caught between multiple battles. "This is private property!" "Owned by shareholders," Victoria interjects quietly. "Shareholders who might be very interested in this interaction." Bradley's attention snaps back to her, something flickering in his eyes. Not quite recognition, but unease. Are you threatening me? She shakes her head slowly. I'm informing you. There's a difference. He studies her more carefully now, noting details he'd dismissed. The designer watch partially hidden by her sleeve, the perfect manicure despite casual clothes, the way she holds herself with unconscious authority. You're one of those activists, aren't you? His voice drips disdain. Probably have a whole team waiting outside. Well, I have news for you. My father sits on this company's board. We've dealt with your kind before. Victoria's expression doesn't change. My kind? He leans closer, voice dropping to a hiss. Professional victims, race baiters, opportunists who think they can shake down legitimate businesses. The live stream viewer count climbs rapidly. 500, 1,000, 2,000. Comments flood in expressing outrage, calling for boycotts, tagging news outlets. Bradley remains oblivious, lost in his own righteous anger. Security, escort her out. Now! James doesn't move. Mr. Morrison, maybe we should… Are you refusing a direct order? The threat in Bradley's voice is unmistakable. He's doing his job correctly, Victoria says. De-escalation first, force as last resort, though I doubt you'd know that policy. Bradley's control snaps. You think you're so clever? Coming in here with your poverty costume and your little phone, trying to trap us? He gestures wildly at her appearance. Those shoes probably cost less than our floor cleaner. That bag looks like something from a thrift store. You don't belong here. And everyone knows it. A white male customer in his 60s approaches. Excuse me, is there a problem? This lady was just looking around. Bradley barely glances at him. Sir, I appreciate your concern, but we have this handled. The man persists. Doesn't look handled. Looks like harassment. Bradley's mask slips further. Sir, if you'd like to continue shopping here, I suggest you mind your own business. The older man's eyebrows rise. 30 years I've been coming here. Never seen anything like this. He looks directly at Victoria. Ma'am, would you like me to call someone? Before she can answer, Bradley interjects. That won't be necessary. She's leaving. Now. He grabs Victoria's upper arm, fingers digging in hard enough to bruise. Out. Time slows. Victoria doesn't resist, doesn't pull away. Instead, she goes completely still, looking down at his hand on her arm, then up at his face. You're assaulting me. Her voice carries clearly in the sudden silence. In front of 30 witnesses and at least 3 recording devices. Bradley's grip tightens instead of releasing. It's not assault to remove a trespasser. I'm not trespassing. I'm shopping. Without money? Without membership? Please. His free hand gestures dismissively. You probably couldn't afford a keychain from here. The casual cruelty lands exactly as intended. Victoria's eyes flash, the first emotion she's shown. You don't know anything about what I can afford. He mistakes her anger for weakness, pressing harder. Oh, I know exactly what you can afford. Nothing. You're nobody. A nobody who's about to be arrested for trespassing. Maria finds her voice suddenly. Mr. Morrison, please. She hasn't done anything wrong. He rounds on her without releasing Victoria. Did I ask for your opinion, Maria? Want to join her outside? Because I have a list of eager replacements who know how to follow orders. The threat hangs heavy. Maria's face crumbles, but she doesn't back down entirely. This isn't right. Right? Bradley laughs harshly. What's not right is people thinking they can walk in here and disrupt our business. He yanks Victoria toward the door. She stumbles, catching herself against a display case. The sound of shifting merchandise fills the space. Careful, she says softly. That display is worth more than your annual salary. He freezes, thrown by her specific knowledge. How would you… The question dies as she straightens, all pretense falling away. The hunched shoulders square, the downcast eyes blaze with purpose. The hesitant movements transform into controlled power. Because, unlike you, Bradley Morrison, I actually read the financial reports. The transformation is subtle, but complete. Everyone watching feels the shift, though they can't quite name it. Bradley releases her arm, stepping back instinctively. Something fundamental has changed, and he's smart enough to sense danger even if he can't identify its source. Financial reports? Bradley's voice wavers between anger and uncertainty. What kind of game are you playing? Victoria straightens her rumpled shirt with deliberate calm, the gesture somehow more threatening than any aggressive move. Around them, the air crackles with anticipation. The live stream count hits 10,000, comments scrolling too fast to read. Someone whispers, "This is about to get real." Bradley's phone buzzes insistently in his pocket. He ignores it, focused entirely on the woman who suddenly seems taller, more substantial. "I don't know who you think you are, but—" The slap cuts through air and words with vicious precision. The sound echoes off marble and crystal, sharp as breaking bones. Victoria's head snaps sideways, her body following the momentum until she drops to one knee. Blood immediately wells from her split lip, a single drop hitting pristine marble with an audible splash. The store freezes into tableau. 30 witnesses stand motionless, processing what they've seen. Phones capture every angle, every detail. Bradley's hand still raised. Victoria's blood on white stone, James stepping forward, then stopping, Maria's hands covering her mouth. The silence stretches one heartbeat, two, before erupting. "Oh my God! He hit her! Did you get that? Someone call 911! The young woman live streaming screams into her phone. "He just slapped her! The manager just hit this woman!" Victoria touches her lip gingerly, examines the blood with scientific detachment. She rises with fluid grace, each movement deliberate and controlled. When she speaks, her voice carries absolute calm that silences the chaos. "Thank you, Bradley." He blinks, hand dropping slowly. "Thank what?" She dabs at her lip with a tissue from her pocket. "You just gave me the most valuable gift possible." "You're insane." His voice cracks slightly. "I was defending myself. You grabbed my wrist." Victoria smiles, the expression made grotesque by blood. "No, I didn't. And we have 23 cameras showing exactly what happened." She gestures to the witnesses. "Plus 30 smartphones. But please, continue explaining how you were threatened by someone half your size." Bradley's phone rings. Not buzzes, rings with the special tone reserved for board members. He fumbles it out, sees Harold Morrison, CEO, on the screen. His father. "Don't answer that," Victoria suggests mildly. "You'll want to hear what I have to say first." But panic drives him to swipe accept. His father's voice explodes through the speaker, loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. "What the hell have you done?" "Dad? I don't—" "Shut up. There's a video of you assaulting a black woman going viral. 20,000 views in 2 minutes. Bradley's face drains of color. "She was trespassing, refusing to leave. I don't care if she was stealing the chandelier. You hit a customer on camera." The line goes dead. Bradley stares at the phone like it might bite him. "Problems?" Victoria asks sympathetically. He wheels on her, rage and fear battling for dominance. "You set this up. This whole thing was planned." She shrugs one shoulder. "I came to shop. You chose violence. But since we're being honest, She reaches into her bag, movements slow and unthreatening. I should probably introduce myself properly. From the worn canvas bag, she withdraws a leather folder embossed with Phoenix Capital. The name means nothing to most watching, but Bradley recognizes it. Whispered rumors of hostile takeovers, activist investors, companies transformed overnight. No, he breathes. Victoria opens the folder, revealing official documentation. As of 9:47 this morning, Phoenix Capital owns 62% of Lux Boulevard Holdings. That's impossible. His voice rises desperately. The Huntington Trust owns controlling interest. They'd never sell. Victoria's smile sharpens. They sold to shell companies over 3 years. Very quietly. Very legally. She turns to address the crowd, voice carrying easily. Which makes me, effectively, your boss's boss's boss. The revelation ripples through witnesses like electricity. Phones swing between Bradley's stricken face and Victoria's blood-stained calm. The live stream explodes. 50,000 viewers, national news picking up the feed. James, the security guard, makes a decision, moving to stand beside Victoria rather than Bradley. Ma'am, do you need medical attention? Not yet, James, but thank you for asking. She returns focus to Bradley, who seems to be shrinking inside his expensive suit. Now, about those financial reports. Shall we discuss the $2 million monthly you've been skimming through phantom inventory? His mouth opens, closes, opens again. No sound emerges. Or would you prefer to review the discrimination statistics? 89% of black employees terminated within 6 months. Curious pattern, wouldn't you say? I want a lawyer, Bradley manages weakly. Victoria nods agreeably. Excellent idea. You'll need several. The FBI raid should begin in... She checks her watch. 12 minutes. As if summoned, sirens wail in the distance. Not police. Too many. Too coordinated. Federal vehicles. Bradley's legs give out. He catches himself against a display case, sending $1,000 purses tumbling. You can't do this. My father is being arrested at corporate headquarters as we speak, Victoria finishes. Along with 14 other executives. Did you really think you could steal millions and destroy countless careers without consequences? She turns to Maria, voice gentling. I know you have documentation. The application's wrongfully rejected. The employees fired for manufactured reasons. You've been keeping copies, haven't you? Maria nods tremulously, tears streaming. 3 years' worth. I couldn't stand it anymore, but I needed this job. Victoria crosses to her, ignoring Bradley completely. You're protected now. Whistleblower status, full immunity, and a promotion if you want it. The crowd parts as men and women in dark suits enter, FBI agents with warrant badges displayed prominently. The lead agent, a tall black woman, surveys the scene with satisfaction. Ms. Blackstone, we have the warrants. Agent Johnson, excellent timing. Victoria gestures to Bradley. Mr. Morrison was just demonstrating why this investigation was necessary. Battery in front of witnesses. Agent Johnson's smile could freeze hell. How convenient. Bradley Morrison, you're under arrest for embezzlement, tax evasion, and violations of federal civil rights law. Bradley finds his voice in extremity. This is entrapment. She provoked me. By existing while black? Agent Johnson asks dryly. That's not provocation, sir. That's racism. She nods to her team. Take him. As handcuffs click around Bradley's wrists, his bravado finally cracks completely. Please, I have a family. My kids. Victoria steps close, voice pitched for his ears alone. So did every person you refused to hire, every employee you terminated. Every career you destroyed. Louder for the cameras. Your children will have something you never gave others, a second chance. But you? You're done. The agents lead Bradley out through a gauntlet of recording phones. The young live streamer provides running commentary. Y'all seeing this? Manager who slapped a black woman is actually getting arrested. She owns the whole company. The viewer count passes 100,000. News vans screech to stops outside, reporters scrambling for position. Victoria stands in the center of the chaos, blood still on her lip, completely composed. Shall we continue the tour? She asks the remaining staff lightly. I believe we were discussing inventory management. Her phone rings, the real one from her bag, not the decoy she'd been using. Yes? Excellent. Phase 3 can begin. She ends the call, addresses the stunned employees. Conference room, 5 minutes. We have a company to rebuild. Victoria turns to the nearest camera, speaking directly to viewers. What you've witnessed isn't rare. It happens daily in workplaces across America, just without cameras rolling. If you're experiencing discrimination, document everything. If you're witnessing it, don't stay silent. And if you're perpetrating it, we're coming. This is just the beginning. Black Voices Now stands with everyone fighting for justice in the workplace. Subscribe, share, but most importantly, act. Your voice matters. Your story matters. Together, we're unstoppable. The conference room fills with terrified employees, their designer uniforms suddenly feeling like prison stripes. Victoria enters last, blood cleaned from her face but bruise already darkening along her jawline. She sets a laptop on the mahogany table, its screen mirroring to the wall display. Everyone sit. This concerns all of you. 23 employees comply instantly, recognizing authority that transcends org charts. Rachel Williams bursts through the door, her regional director badge swinging wildly. What is this circus? Where's Bradley? She stops short, seeing Victoria at the head of the table. Who authorized this meeting? Victoria clicks her remote. The wall screen illuminates with an email chain. You did, Rachel. 3 years ago when you wrote, "Keep the stores clean of undesirables." The room gasps collectively as employees read their superior's words. Rachel's perfectly styled blonde hair seems to wilt. Those emails were private. You can't... Another click. Security footage plays. Rachel instructing Bradley to reject a qualified black applicant. Make something up. Say she failed the personality assessment. The timestamp shows last Tuesday. Rachel stumbles backward. This is illegal surveillance. Actually, Victoria says conversationally, it's completely legal when authorized by majority ownership, which I've been for 6 months. She advances through slides, financial records, discriminatory emails, recorded conversations. Each revelation builds upon the last, constructing an undeniable pattern. 47 stores, 0 black managers, 2 million monthly in theft, and you, Rachel, orchestrating everything while Bradley took the fall if caught. An elderly security guard near the door starts crying silently. Victoria notices, voice softening. Thomas, you tried reporting this. They threatened your pension. He nods, unable to speak. Your pension is safe. Doubled, actually. And those reports you filed? The FBI has them now. The door opens again. 3 more executives enter, drawn by panicked texts. They freeze, seeing the screen, their own communications displayed. Sit, Victoria commands. They obey like scolded children. For those just joining, we're reviewing how you've spent a decade building a criminal enterprise disguised as luxury retail. The live stream continues through the glass doors. Someone props their phone to capture everything. The viewer count passes 500,000. News helicopters circle outside. Maria finds courage in the moment. I have recordings too. She pulls out an old smartphone. Every time Mr. Morrison told me to lie about why black applicants weren't hired, every threat when I questioned policies. Other employees exchange glances, a dam breaking. I have emails, offers a young Asian woman, proving they paid women 30% less. I documented the disability discrimination, adds a man in a wheelchair. Told me I was bad for the store's image. Victoria nods approvingly. Send everything to this address. She writes an FBI email on the whiteboard. Immunity and protection for all whistleblowers who come forward in the next hour. Rachel tries to rally. You can't buy loyalty with threats. These people know who really runs things. But the room's energy has shifted decisively. Years of suppressed conscience emerge like floodwaters. Actually, the CFO enters reading from his phone. Phoenix Capital now owns 83%. The panic selling started 20 minutes ago. He looks at Rachel with undisguised satisfaction. Also, your offshore accounts were frozen. All 17 of them. Rachel's legs buckle. She grabs the table for support. Manicured nails, scratching mahogany. Richard, you're part of this? Richard Zhao adjusts his glasses precisely. 10 years I've watched you destroy careers while enriching yourself. When Ms. Blackstone approached me 6 months ago, I provided everything. He produces a flash drive. Every transaction, every bribe, every doctored report. I believe the FBI is particularly interested in the senator's son you paid to avoid investigation. The senators. Rachel's face turns green. That was confidential. Attorney-client privilege. Victoria laughs. Actually laughs. Privilege doesn't cover criminal conspiracy. Your lawyer turned state's evidence yesterday. She clicks to surveillance footage of Rachel accepting a briefcase from a known crime figure. This, however, was news even to me. Apparently, discrimination was just your side business. The room erupts. Employees shout over each other, years of grievances pouring out. Victoria raises one hand, commanding instant silence. Everyone will be heard, but first, her phone buzzes. She reads, smiles. Perfect timing. The board of directors just voted. Unanimous no confidence in current management. Rachel Williams, you're terminated. Security will escort you out after the FBI processes you. You can't, Rachel shrieks. I have contracts, golden parachutes. Victoria pulls up legal documents. Void in cases of criminal conduct. You'll leave with nothing, like the hundreds of employees you discarded. She turns to the room. Speaking of which, James, would you please bring in our special guests? James opens the connecting door. A line of people enters. Black, Latino, Asian, disabled, elderly. All holding folders, all wearing visitor badges. The employees recognize some faces with shock. These are 43 wrongfully terminated employees, Victoria announces. All with perfect records before working here. All dismissed within 6 months for fabricated reasons. All offered their jobs back with full back pay. One woman steps forward, gray-haired and dignified. I was fired for attitude problems after reporting sexual harassment. That was my attitude problem, expecting basic respect. She looks directly at Rachel. 5 years fighting to clear my name. Today, I accept the position of head of human resources. The other returnees applaud. Current employees join them, the sound building. This is insane, Rachel screams. You can't just replace everyone. Victoria's expression hardens. I'm not replacing everyone, just those who participated in or enabled discrimination. The innocent have nothing to fear. She clicks to a new slide, an organizational chart with photos. Promotions effective immediately. Maria Santos, store manager. James Williams, director of security. Thomas Chen, regional operations. Each name announced draws gasps. Line employees elevated to management. Janitors becoming supervisors. The very people the old regime considered disposable now holding power. "But they're not qualified," Rachel protests desperately. "Maria doesn't even have a degree." Maria stands proudly. "I have 2 degrees. You just never asked because you assumed I was stupid." The FBI agents enter without fanfare, moving with practiced efficiency. "Rachel Williams, you're under arrest." The charges take 2 minutes to read. Racketeering, tax fraud, civil rights violations, money laundering. Each word strips away another layer of Rachel's composure until she's sobbing, mascara running in black rivers. "Bradley made me. It was all his idea." "Interesting," Victoria observes. "He said the same about you. Maybe discuss it in adjacent cells." As agents cuff Rachel, she makes one last, desperate play. "You think you've won? You have no idea who you're fighting. The connections we have—" Agent Johnson covers Rachel's mouth firmly. "Ma'am, anything you say can and will be used against you. I suggest silence." They remove Rachel as phones capture every moment. The remaining executives sit frozen, calculating odds. Victoria addresses them with cold precision. "Resignation letters. Now. Sign, and you leave quietly with severance. Refuse, and we investigate every transaction, every decision, every expense report." Papers appear as if by magic. Richard the CFO prepared everything in advance. One by one, they sign. The old guard surrendering to inevitability. Victoria watches impassively until the last signature dries. "Thank you for your cooperation. Security will help you pack." She turns to the elevated employees, warmth returning. "Your first task, hire back everyone wrongfully terminated. Full benefits, full seniority. We have 97 positions to fill immediately." "What about customers?" asks the new head of sales. "Won't they leave if we change everything?" Victoria smiles. "Let me show you something." She pulls up financial projections. Companies with diverse leadership outperform homogeneous ones by 35%. Our customer base is 70% women and minorities, people you've been insulting while taking their money. Watch what happens when we actually respect them. Her phone rings again. She answers on speaker. "Ms. Blackstone? This is Sandra Chen from CNN. We're live outside. Would you consider an interview?" Victoria glances around the room. At crying employees finally free to speak truth. At returning workers reclaiming dignity. At the old regime being led away in handcuffs. Tell CNN they can have exclusive behind-the-scenes access. Let's show America what accountability looks like. Within an hour, the flagship store transforms into a Reformation Center. Victoria stands before a hastily assembled podium as CNN's cameras roll, employees gathered behind her in powerful solidarity. The bruise on her jaw has darkened to purple-black, a badge she wears without concealment. What happened here today represents 47 stores and thousands of careers destroyed by systematic discrimination. That ends now. She outlines the immediate changes with CEO precision. First, all hiring records for the past decade undergo independent audit. Every rejected applicant receives personal review. Those wrongfully denied will be offered positions with signing bonuses as apology. Behind her, Maria coordinates phone teams already making calls. Former rejects weep with joy as they receive news they'd abandoned hope of hearing. Second, compensation restructuring. Pay gaps close immediately. The millions stolen from underpaid employees will be restored with interest, not charity, justice. She holds up a check. Rosanna Martinez, fired while pregnant for performance issues, receives $300,000 in back pay today. The real issue, she refused her manager's advances. Rosanna steps forward, tears streaming, clutching her toddler. The image broadcasts globally, mother and child finally receiving justice. Third, blind recruitment begins Monday. Applications processed without names, photos, or demographic markers. Skills and experience only. We're partnering with Howard University, Spelman, and Morehouse to establish pipeline programs. The crowd erupts in approval. Someone starts chanting, "Black excellence." Others join until Victoria raises a hand for quiet. Excellence has no color. We're simply removing the barriers that pretended it did. A reporter shouts a question. What about shareholders? Won't these changes impact profits? Victoria's smile could cut glass. Short-term costs, long-term gains? Discrimination is expensive. Lawsuits, turnover, lost talent, boycotts. Our projections show 30% growth within 18 months. Turns out treating people fairly is good business. She clicks her remote, displaying charts. These stores lost money despite theft because they alienated most consumers. Watch what happens when we welcome everyone. The new management team assembles beside her. A rainbow of faces, ages, abilities. James speaks first, voice strong despite emotion. 6 years I watched injustice daily, told myself I couldn't afford to speak up, but silence made me complicit. Never again. He announces security reforms, body cameras for all guards, de-escalation training, zero tolerance for profiling. Security should protect everyone, not police their skin color. Maria takes the microphone next. To every person told they weren't the right fit. We see you now. Applications reopen tomorrow. No experience required for entry positions. We'll train you. Promotions based on merit, not melanin. She switches to Spanish briefly, then Mandarin, addressing communities long excluded. The live stream comments explode with multilingual celebration. Thomas Chen, the elderly guard promoted to operations, shares his story. 23 years here. Watched them promote younger, whiter, less qualified people over me repeatedly. Told myself to be grateful just having a job. Today, I stop being grateful for crumbs. His voice breaks. My grandchildren will see their grandfather finally respected. The room gives him standing ovation. Victoria introduces Dr. Angela Winters, the new HR director. We're not just changing policies, but culture. Mandatory diversity training isn't enough. We need heart transformation. She outlines innovative approaches. Reverse mentoring, where young employees of color guide senior staff. Immersion experiences in different communities. Bonuses tied to inclusion metrics. Either grow with us or grow apart from us. The CFO, Richard, presents Financial Transparency Measures. Every quarter, we publish complete diversity statistics. Not just hiring, but retention, promotion, pay equity. Hidden discrimination thrives in darkness. We're flooding it with light. He shows real-time dashboards tracking progress. Any store falling below targets gets intervention. Continued failure means management replacement. No exceptions. A white male executive from the old regime approaches the podium hesitantly. Victoria allows him space. I knew it was wrong, but I stayed silent for my career, my family. That's not an excuse, just truth. He faces the cameras. To everyone harmed while I did nothing, I'm sorry. I'm resigning, but first, I'm providing evidence about 12 other companies doing the same thing. He hands Victoria a thick folder before walking away. This brings us to the larger mission, Victoria continues. Phoenix Capital commits $1 billion to reforming American retail. We're acquiring companies with discrimination problems and transforming them. Consider this store a prototype. She gestures to the space around them. In 3 months, return to see the results. I guarantee you won't recognize it, except for the quality products. Those remain luxury. The only thing we're discounting is prejudice. The new leadership team joins hands across the podium. Different colors, ages, backgrounds united in purpose. Victoria stands center, bruised but unbroken. To the Bradley Morrisons and Rachel Williams still operating, we're coming. To their victims, document everything. To corporate America, evolve or expire. Justice delayed isn't justice denied anymore. It's justice approaching with federal warrants. She concludes with personal revelation. My grandmother cleaned these floors for pennies, dreaming her descendants might shop here as equals. My mother was rejected from management despite qualifications. I was followed by security as a teenager, accused of theft while holding a receipt. Her voice strengthens. Today, I don't just shop here. I own here. And I'm using that ownership to ensure no one else endures what my family did. The crowd surges forward, employees, customers, reporters mixing in celebration. Someone starts singing "We Shall Overcome," voices joining until the luxury store rings with freedom songs. Victoria steps down from the podium into embracing arms, her transformation complete, from victim to victor, from silenced to CEO, from slapped to triumphant. Around her, the old regime's portraits come down from walls, replaced with mirrors. So everyone can see themselves belonging here, Maria explains to cameras. Outside, the arrests continue. FBI agents load boxes of evidence while former executives perp walk past news crews. The contrast is stark. Inside, joy and justice. Outside, consequences finally arriving for those who thought themselves untouchable. The split screen on CNN tells the whole story, reformation and reckoning happening simultaneously. 3 months later, autumn sun streams through the same crystal windows, illuminating transformation. The store reopens as heritage and honor, luxury for all, with crowds stretching around the block. Victoria stands before the entrance, her bruise long healed, but the memory permanent. Behind her, the new leadership team wears custom uniforms designed by Black artists, each piece telling stories of resilience and triumph. Maria, now general manager, cuts the ceremonial ribbon with golden scissors. These doors open to everyone. Your money's good here, regardless of your melanin. The crowd surges forward, genuinely diverse for the first time in the chain's history. Elderly Black women who'd been turned away decades ago enter with granddaughters. Latino families browse freely without security shadowing. A woman in hijab manages the jewelry counter, her expertise evident as she assists customers in 4 languages. The numbers tell their own story. Sales up 312%. Employee satisfaction at 96%. Customer complaints down 90%. What complaints remain focus on inventory shortages. They can't stock fast enough for demand. The store that once repelled diversity now attracts it like a magnet. Turns out, Victoria tells reporters, exclusion is bad business. 6 registers ring constantly, operated by cashiers reflecting America's actual demographics. The security team, led by James, helps elderly customers with packages and directions rather than profiling minorities. Children play in a newly created family area while parents shop, something the old regime considered lowering standards. These children represent future customers, future employees, future leaders. In the corporate offices above, former janitor Rosa Martinez runs her first board meeting as facilities director. She implemented changes saving $2 million annually while improving worker conditions. They never asked my opinion in 15 years. Turns out I had ideas. Her innovation spread across all 47 stores, efficiency born from respecting those who do the work. The ripple effects reach beyond retail. 3 senators propose legislation mandating diversity reporting for all federal contractors. 12 major corporations request consultation from Phoenix Capital. Business schools add case studies about the transformation. The hashtag #heritage. And honor trends globally as consumers demand similar accountability everywhere. Bradley Morrison serves year 2 of his 8-year sentence, teaching literacy to fellow inmates. Court-mandated community service. His father's empire crumbled within weeks, investigators uncovering decades of fraud. Rachel Williams lost her law license and fortune, last seen working at a gas station. I hear she's learning humility, Victoria notes without satisfaction. Prison has that effect. The documentary crew captures Victoria's final interview. She sits in the same spot where Bradley slapped her, now featuring a plaque. On this site, injustice was exposed and transformation began. She touches the bronze letters thoughtfully. People ask if I planned to be slapped. No, I planned for justice. The slap was just Bradley showing his true nature. What's next? The interviewer asks. Victoria pulls up her phone, showing a map dotted with red pins. 2,000 stores across America systematically excluding people. We've acquired 43 so far. Each transformation creates local jobs, improves communities, proves diversity drives profits. She zooms in on one pin. Next week, Chicago. A department store chain that hasn't promoted a black woman in 27 years. That changes. Former employee testimonials play on the store's new video walls. I tried killing myself after they fired me, admits one man. Now I run the men's department. Saved my life, literally. Another shares, my daughter saw me cleaning toilets for people who despised us. Today she sees me as purchasing director. That's generational change. The final statistics flash on screen. 1,200 wrongfully terminated employees rehired, 50 million in back pay distributed, 37 executives convicted, 400 million in recovered theft. But beyond numbers, lives rebuilt, dignity restored, hope renewed, justice served not cold, but blazing hot. Victoria addresses the camera directly for her closing statement. They thought that slap would silence me. Instead, it echoed across America. Every time someone faces discrimination, remember, document it, report it, fight it. Not with violence, but with truth. Truth has power they can't slap away. She stands, walking toward the exit. And to those still slapping, metaphorically or literally, we're watching. We're recording. We're coming. Your time is ending. The store bustles with authentic community. Languages mixing, children laughing, elderly assisted with respect. The security guards who once enforced exclusion now ensure inclusion. The managers who once destroyed dreams now nurture them. The transformation is complete, irreversible, spreading. As credits roll, text appears. Based on 1,847 documented cases of retail discrimination, today, Heritage and Honor employs 200 diverse Americans. Phoenix Capital continues acquiring and transforming discriminatory businesses. Report injustice at justiceinretail.org. The final shot, Victoria's grandmother's photo hanging in the entrance. Below it, words etched in marble. Ruby Blackstone, 1902-1987. She cleaned these floors so her great-granddaughter could own them. Dream, fight, win. Victoria's voice returns over the final image. You've witnessed one victory in an ongoing war. But this isn't my fight alone. It's ours. Every workplace harboring discrimination, every qualified person rejected for their identity, every dream deferred by prejudice. Today, commit to action. Subscribe to Black Voices now. Share these stories. But most importantly, when you see injustice, be the one who speaks. Be the one who records. Be the one who stands between the oppressor and the oppressed. Because revolution doesn't require millions. It requires you. Just you, refusing to be silent one more day. The time is now. Your voice matters. Use it.